Star Citizen Alpha 4.6 is live, introducing new features in January, and that's not normal. January is usually one of the quietest months for Star Citizen. Most years, this is when we would usually expect a small follow-up patch like 4.5.1. Bug fixes, stability work, maybe some server maintenance, generally just fixing what broke over the holidays. Instead, CIG is rolling straight into a full 4.6 update. The roadmap was updated early in January, features were pushed out this month, crafting is going into player hands, and the content pace from last year hasn't slowed down just yet. It's actually sped up a bit. Today I'm going to cover everything we know is coming in Alpha 4.6, what makes this update so unique, and why it's a good sign for the near term of Star Citizen's development. Thank you for coming to my Tomato Talk. The first update of most years for Star Citizen is a fixer-up patch with some small additions. 3.12.1 in 2021 actually removed Levski and otherwise just made some slight tweaks. 3.16.1 in 2022 added some planet-side derelict ships, which you can still visit now. Otherwise, it just fixed bugs. 3.17.5 in 2023 was purely used for bug fixes, which makes sense as it was preparing for 3.18, which... oof. Then in 2024, 3.22.1 was again mainly just bug fixes. Even 4.0.1 last January was a big polish pass on 4.0. So the precedent for a January patch is not that crazy. Expectations are certainly not that high. So it's nice to see a patch like 4.6, which may seem misappropriately named, but I'm a tomato, so who am I to judge? It's got a lot to love. First is the most exciting part, night vision. I covered the long and hilarious story of the community asking CIG about night vision in this game for the last 7 years, and I'm glad we're finally getting it. It's a pretty cool application too. It's actually a shader on the glass panels inside of cockpits that refracts the light to create favorable viewing conditions, but it's visible from outside, so be careful. For now though, only certain ships are receiving the feature first, with others following later. The next most interesting addition in 4.6 are resource gathering missions, and these are a bigger deal than they may seem. First, mining missions have been taunting us for years now, with other newer professions getting tutorial and expert level contracts first. Now, miners will be able to take contracts for ground, vehicle, and ship-based mining to learn the various resources, methods, and ins and outs of the trade. Salvage is getting an upgrade in missions, with contracts simply calling for players to find their own wrecks and resources and bring them back to a location. These missions can ask for salvage material or recovered components, and both these and the mining missions will scale from solo player to full org level in size. These missions will be linked to Reputation for Adagio Holdings and Shubin Interstellar. Take note, these missions do kind of mirror the combat-oriented PvE-focused missions for players we saw back in 3.23 last year. Also mission and content related is the new narrative taking place all around the game. Much like the resource rush of last year, this new Clear the Air event aims to try and include all players. It features cargo hauling, single box courier missions, mining and salvaging options, and ship combat options. It'll be open-ended and in the sandbox environment, so players can work together or against each other. And it comes with your own progress tracking, as well as progress tracking across different gameplay types. It's almost like we're just seeing some of the inside stats on the gameplay that they would normally show us afterwards. Luckily with these missions, CIG has allowed for point sharing if you are working together on them, so this encourages team play much more than things like Resource Rush, and the reward you'll be getting range from themed medical tools to tractor beams to new armor sets, ship paints, all the way to the fabrication crafting machine we know will be coming in the coming months. So there are reasons to play and reasons not to burn out doing this all in 1 week. We should have until Alpha 4.7 to do all of this in March. Besides the content though, we've also got some new ships this patch. First, the RSI Hermes, another variant of a niche ship that CIG wants to give another life. I think this is a travesty, and I'll be making a separate video to talk about it a little later. Then there is a salvaging mole. Not one I've seen as of the writing now, but by the time this video comes out, it should be available to you. You probably also know the name. This is one that I'll be covering separately as well. The RSI Aurora, basically the universal starter ship of Star Citizen, is receiving its gold pass, which we've been tracking together over the months over on Space Tomato 2. This is a great move and long overdue by CIG, as every ship of that caliber should be the highest standard. But I'll still be waiting to see if the $45 Aurora game package will be reappearing on the store now. And this of course means the new Mark II Aurora is coming soon, as this one is now referred to as the Mark I. But I'll leave my own reaction to that down below, rather than go over it again here. And then there are the smaller additions. We have Kelto pit stop shops being added to all spaceports, so you can stop starving to death as you wait for the train back into town. They'll also have the essentials like fuses and other ship parts for quick pickup. Especially nice since we spawn in hangars now. We're also seeing more updates to VR functionality, which just popped up out of nowhere last month. Crash fixes, quality of life improvements, and functionality. I'll be giving VR a go soon here to give you some impressions from a first-time user. More details about that coming soon. Finally, there are some new armors, including a 7-year-old concept and a new utility armor, which I think looks a little trap-centric and just, I don't know, weird, but I do appreciate more armors focused on non-combat and looking forward to seeing their specialties. There are likely some more small additions that we'll see as this patch goes live that I don't have access to now. And obviously the stability of this patch is the most important. We'll have to see how that goes over the next coming days and weeks. But all of these changes, in some minds at least, probably call for a 4.6 moniker on the patch. Many, however, may feel a little unsure about how to judge it. It feels a bit wrong to call it 4.6, but at the same time it also feels right given the time of the year and how much is coming in. And that's because the number doesn't matter. What matters is what's going on in the game, what's going on in each patch, and what time of the year it is. How does this January compare to previous years, and what does it mean is coming next? Every year, Star Citizen starts out with a couple quiet weeks. Historically, there has not been any communication on development until the 3rd week of January. As you can see last year from this week in Star Citizen, pretty late in the month. Aside from that, we'll usually see 3 more weeks, another monthly report, and potentially even some talk shows before a roadmap update is delivered mid-February to show what that month of planning and reacting to the prior year has wrought at CIG. Back in the day, this planning fell apart by mid-year for the most part. Nowadays, read last year, we seem to follow the path laid out somewhat. This year is different. Even from as early as May's monthly report last year, we could see the team was gearing up for 2026 already. That's not to say they didn't do this in the past, but for whatever reason, things were just not predictable enough for them to know what calendar Q1 would look like for CIG. So here in just the first couple of weeks before a traditional year would have released a monthly report, roadmap update, or even any new features, 4.6 is live with some pretty solid additions. I hear all your arguments that this should be named 4.5.1, and honestly, I kind of agree. This could really land anywhere. We've got more content than 3.22.2, but less than 4.1.1. We've got more features than 3.16, but less than 4.3. But as we end up going over just about any other year, and as I feel saying all these numbers, who cares? After several years of watching this anyways, it's not like CIG's following any specific system. We can only see that it is the timing that matters, and January historically has not been a time of proactive development and new mechanics. So this tells us that CIG has hit the ground running. While the patch number might feel wrong, the actual delivery feels pretty right. It's obvious the game needs a pretty significant fixing update after 4.5 threw a wrench in playability, but getting some continued narrative, as frustrating as it might be, and a couple new locations, and a significant feature shows a more confident and put together team than previous years in my opinion. And we all know this isn't going to fix all the problems we're having anyways. So whether it's called 4.5.1 or 4.6, if this patch lands stable with the additions it is hinting at, it is going to be a pretty big win and a good start for Star Citizen in a very key year. But that's only the start. With crafting entering the preview channel in the coming days, the 1 to 2 month outlook is also looking pretty interesting. Here's a look at what this early update in 2026 could mean for the rest of Q1. The next thing that seems to be coming down the pipeline in terms of content in Star Citizen seems to be the Rockcracker sandbox activities. This from leaks, sneak peeks, and just a look at the major drops of the year and what's most likely ready of that group. From what we know of these stations, they are essentially like giant versions of the Hathor facilities from 2025, scattered throughout the Nyx system in space, offering public and private opportunities to plunder gigantic asteroids for a lot of wealth. Rebooting a derelict space station to crack the rock open, then bring your own mining team in to extract the resources. Note that the public and private options are going to allow for more controlled environments while still being in the open world, but you will have to pay a higher fee in order to get that private option. We will likely see this land in Alpha 4.7 in March, though that hasn't been confirmed. I'll keep you posted here on the progress on updates, as well as features. On top of the content flow of last year, CIG has actually gotten back to feature development. I just covered my first experience with crafting in the last video you can check out below. While still early in the process, this just strengthens the belief that CIG is starting out this year less on the back foot and more proactive than others. That doesn't mean everything is going to go perfectly, but with crafting and likely the new inventory and testing, social tool updates being teased, regular content and feature already kicking off in January, and an interesting content drop to look forward to in the coming months, Star Citizen is picking up faster in 2026 than expected. Whether 4.5.1 or 4.6, the number doesn't matter. It's where we are in the year and the dev process. And at a time when CIG is generally licking their wounds and counting their pennies from the holiday season, we're seeing new features and more confident talk around the preview channel. I will still encourage cautious optimism. This is CIG and Star Citizen. Things are bound to go wrong, and the game's gonna play pretty rough. But so far in 2026, it's a good sign that last year's release cadence and planning ahead is continuing along with feature development and implementation. Exactly what we were looking for this year. If you would like to more closely follow this development and how things are going with the game, I try to provide you with context around this development you're not going to find anywhere else, posting new videos every week here on my main channel and some news videos every day or so over on my second channel, Space Tomato 2. And if you're looking for gameplay, we've now got a channel for that too. Whatever you do choose, thank you for watching this video till the end. I hope you learned something new in it, and I'll catch you in the next.